I said, go your own way. And once I left her, she resigned because she would never have survived a primary.
Conservatives are absolutely losing it today over Marjorie Taylor Greene's announcement that she is going to be resigning from a public office, with a sort of rift forming amongst the GOP of those who are saddened by the loss of a brave patriot and of those who are much more excited about the prospects of a rhino, a Republican in name only, leaving the party. Either way, everyone else can just sit back, relax, grab a big old bucket of popcorn, and just enjoy the firestorm that is unraveling right in front of us. Because Marjorie Taylor Greene, for being a single representative, has a tectonic pull amongst the MAGA base and GOP at large. Because not only did she have major social capital, being a very prominent figure amongst the conservative movement, but she was also an extremely effective fundraiser for the GOP and for the Trump administration and their policies. But she stood up to the piggy in chief and she got burned. So if you want to see all of these amazing MAGA meltdowns, be sure to stick around to the end of the video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Really American YouTube channel. So for a bit of background, Marjorie Taylor Greene released an over 10-minute long video Friday evening announcing her resignation. Here's a clip.
I'm going back to the people that I love, to live my life to the fullest as I always have, and I look forward to a new path ahead. I'll be resigning from office, with my last day being January 5th, 2026, and I look forward to seeing many of you again sometime in the future. May God bless you all, and may God bless America.
So yeah, for the first 10 minutes or so of that video, she's talking about her record voting as a Republican and how she disagreed with Trump on Epstein. But now that she has stood up to him, he has just completely thrown her to the side, and she's being attacked by not only conservatives, but liberals alike, and she is just feeling it all too much, and so she is stepping away from public office. And I don't blame her. If the guy that I was supporting and being the #1 fan of for half a decade just turned my back on me over a disagreement about him potentially being a criminal, yeah, I'd be upset too. But she will be leaving office effective January 5th, 2026, not immediately. I wonder if that'll come up later. I wonder if that's an interesting time for her to resign. I bet it's nothing. This is foreshadowing for later. So immediately, the firestorm began on major news networks and online, right on the heels of the historic meeting between Mamdani and Trump, because Marjorie Taylor Greene couldn't stay out of the news for more than 4 hours. And out of the news, she did not stay.
Some breaking political news tonight, and it is big breaking political news. Just moments ago, the Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene posted on her X account the announcement: she's resigning next month. Her last day, she says, January 5th.
Here's my reaction to this information.
Look over here, Mr.
It's such a good clip. But anyway, naturally, the news of such a prominent figure as Greene caused a lot of reactions by a lot of people from all sides of the political spectrum, including from President Donald Trump, who is looking rather dapper today, by the way. Maybe Mamdani gave him some notes or something yesterday.
Are you willing to forgive Congresswoman Taylor Greene?
Forgive for what? No, I just disagreed with her philosophy. She started backing perhaps the worst Republican congressman in our history, this stupid person named Massey. And I said, go your own way. And once I left her, she resigned because she would never have survived a primary. But I think she's a nice person. Okay, thank you very much.
So Trump is not only dogging on Greene here and saying that she'd never survive a primary challenge without him and that she is turning her back on the GOP, he also drags Thomas Massie through the mud, who has been a vocal supporter of the Trump administration and their policies, apart from their handling of the Epstein files, which has made him public enemy #1 amongst the Trump administration. Trump also wrote on his Truth Social account right after the news first broke about Greene, writing, quote, Marjorie Trader Brown, that's his name for her, it's not the best, Donald. You could go back to the drawing board on that one. Because of plummeting, in all caps, poll numbers, and not wanting to face a primary challenger with a strong Trump endorsement, where she would have no chance of winning, has decided to call it, quote, quits. Her relationship with the worst Republican congressman in decades, Thomas Massie of Kentucky, also known as Rand Paul Jr. because he votes against the Republican Party, and really good legislation, did not help her. For some reason, primarily that I refused to return her never-ending barrage of phone calls, Marjorie went bad in all caps. Nevertheless, I will always appreciate Marjorie and thank her for her service to our country. President Donald J. Trump. I'm getting a lot of mixed signals from Trump here. He's saying that she's turned bad and she's working with the worst Republicans, but he's also very thankful for her service. I'm not really sure what to think here. Nevertheless, Trump is not the only high-profile Republican to react to this information, with Representative Thomas Massie himself posting this on Twitter in response to Trump's statement. Massie writes, quote, "I'm sad to see one of my best friends, Marjorie Taylor Greene, leave Congress. She was one of the brave few who fought with me to release the Epstein files. If you want me to keep fighting, I need your support." And then he drops a donation link there. Massie and Greene were two of the most vocal members of the GOP against the Trump administration's handling of the Epstein files, and so Massie has lost a close ally in his fight for their full release in Greene leaving. But all of that aside, objectively adding the donation link is pretty funny. Some other GOP influencers and figures have come out of the woodwork to show their support for Greene, including Ann Coulter, of all people, who writes, "Marjorie Taylor Greene flew to New York City to stand outside the courthouse supporting Trump during his trials, campaigned around the country for him, and 100% supports his agenda. But because she supported releasing the Epstein files, like any sane, decent person and 427 other House members, these wackos viciously attacked her. Because Mr. Loyalty did." Mr. Loyalty referring to Donald Trump there. And I have to say it, Ann Coulter is kind of right here. I mean, she's Ann Coulter, but her statements here are correct. Greene was objectively a huge fan and ally of Trump, and she supported him on basically every single thing he ever put forward, but she disagreed with the handling of the Epstein files, and now she is an enemy of the state, and she is the worst person ever, and she needs to be removed from office, and Trump is going to primary her into oblivion. All over one disagreement, the Epstein files. Why is it such a big deal, Donald? Fraudster, liar, and general con artist George Santos also released a statement online reading, quote, "This will be marked and remembered as a monumental loss for the Republican conference. Sad crying face, broken heart emoji." Okay. Yeah, this is a monumental loss indeed. Truly one of the largest bigots inside of all of the GOP leaving their ranks. It's so sad to see her go. So long, soldier. Others amongst the GOP are not as supportive of Greene, including the longtime Trump loyalist and Greene hater, Laura Loomer. She took to her podcast studio to talk a bit about the resignation, and I apologize in advance, you're going to have to listen to Laura Loomer speak here.
Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, former Trump loyalist, says she's resigning from Congress. Let's go ahead and play the clip. It's about 10 minutes long, but of course, you know, she has to go on this whole emotional spiel tirade. "Nobody puts baby in the corner. I fought so hard, and now I'm done. And I'm not coming back unless you come and you tell me that I'm the best woman in the world. I'm the prettiest woman in the world, and I'm the only woman that you have eyes for."
God, she's so weird. Loomer was probably just jealous of Greene for all of these years, right? As she was Trump's favorite and Loomer was constantly on the sidelines like this weird, whiny freak that she really is. But now her competition is gone and she can fill Greene's shoes as the #1 Trump lover of all time. But she's not done bashing Greene yet. And again, trigger warning, Laura Loomer.
So I'm the kind of person where I don't really forgive. So if somebody fucks me over or somebody shows me that they can't be trusted, I'm not going to be trusting them. I'm not going to do this whole little pretend forgiveness thing and be like, oh, I'm going to forgive my enemy. Marjorie, if she calls you a fed and she calls you a pedophile and she calls you crazy or she says you're mentally ill, like, why would you give this woman a second chance? So I wish her nothing but the worst. Good riddance.
What a bunch of mean girl high school behavior. Oh my God, this is a grown adult woman. What a petulant little child. Holy crap. It is so funny to see all of this play out as an outsider. Just watching these people duke it out and fight. All we have to do is just sit back and watch and let these awful people just absolutely torch each other back and forth because they all suck. Let them fight. It's great. I don't care. However, it is not only the GOP responding, but many prominent figures across the political spectrum, including Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who brings up an interesting point about the timing of Greene's resignation. AOC posting on her Instagram writing, "She's carefully timing her departure just 1 to 2 days after her pension kicks in and after making millions of dollars insider trading stocks for weapons manufacturers and others while in office." She then continues saying, "She is saying a lot, but her actions have not backed up the rhetoric. For all her talk, she's still voting with them to gut healthcare and advance self-dealing corruption schemes. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, no, yeah. If Greene was actually so tired of the establishment and the swamp and all the hate and smears coming her way from the president and the MAGA base and the left and the right, why not leave immediately and go be home with your family? It's the holidays after all. Thanksgiving and Christmas are just coming up. She's a good Christian woman. She should be with her family. But no, she's going to be in D.C. until January. Why is that? Why put yourself through another month and a half of being the most hated person in Washington, having death threats and smears coming your way from your friends and your enemies? Well, wouldn't you know it? According to congressional rules, representatives are eligible for lifetime federal pensions after the age of 62 if they serve 5 years or more as a congressional representative. Marjorie Taylor Greene was first sworn into office on January 3rd, 2021. And will leave office on January 5th, 2026, exactly 5 years and 2 days after starting her job, and just 2 days after she gets lifetime benefits for being a representative. So if I'm getting this straight, Greene got to be in power for 5 years, gain national prominence for being a racist, xenophobic, and transphobic bigot, disagree with the president one time about the Epstein files, and now leave office as a martyr for all of these victims. All the while, she was cashing in checks the whole time, and now for the rest of her life. But hey, listen, I gotta give credit where credit is due. The girl played the system miraculously to her advantage since day one. She latched onto power, being the #1 Trump supporter of all time, and became a MAGA icon for over half a decade, all the while benefiting herself and her family. It's not a bad system. Only that, of course, taxpayers are the ones footing the bill. But to be fair, the pension is just a little added bonus, the cherry on the top, would you say, because Greene made millions as a member of Congress. Her net worth in 2021 was roughly $700,000. But when she leaves office in 2026, she will have a net worth of over $25 million. I wonder how that happened as a public servant. Man, very interesting indeed. I'm going to send you off with this. This is probably my favorite reaction to all of this news and maybe the best tweet of the day in regards to all of this. It reads, "Breaking. In an odd and unexpected twist, on January 6th, 2026, an insurrectionist will storm out of the Capitol for a change." It is just too good. It's objectively amazing because before I saw this tweet, I hadn't even thought of the fact that January 6th is the next day. Greene leaves office on the 5th, and the 6th is the next day. And Greene made a name for herself as a huge Trump loyalist, and while she was not literally a part of the Jan 6 mob that stormed the Capitol, she was in fact being sworn in at the time. She was a large defender of the attackers, and now we get to see her storm out of the Capitol on January 6th. What a poetic ending to such a wacky and wild political career as hers. But I think that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below, as well as comment what you think about Greene's resignation. And don't forget to subscribe to the Really American YouTube channel. Have a nice day.